You're watching TCM, where we're in the midst of a 24-hour George Brent marathon. He's our star of the month. I'm Alicia Malone, and we've been exploring the films Brent made at Warner Brothers soon after he signed his contract in 1932. Next is the first film to pair George Brent with Kay Francis. Directed by Michael Curtiz in 1933, it's The Keyhole. The original story, The Adventuress, was written by Alice D.G. Miller, and Robert Presnell Sr. adapted it into a screenplay. Kay Francis stars as Anne, a former dancer now married to a wealthy older man prone to jealousy. Anne doesn't tell him about her ex, Maurice, played by Monroe Owsley, who is blackmailing her for money and threatening to expose that Anne is actually married to him. Anne tries to trick Maurice into giving her a divorce, but her suspicious husband hires a private detective to follow her. The detective is played by George Brent, who replaced William Powell when Powell had to drop out. Brent and Kay Francis were actually supposed to star together just before this in 42nd Street, but she was busy filming the Ernst Lubitsch comedy Trouble in Paradise and was replaced in 42nd Street by Bebe Daniels. In real life, George Brent was married to Ruth Chatterton. The two actors married in 1932, shortly after starring together in The Rich Are Always With Us. However, the marriage was short-lived, and by 1934, they were divorced. Let's get to our film, also starring Glenda Farrell and Alan Jenkins from 1933. Enjoy The Keyhole. The Keyhole is such a glamorous film, with Kay Francis wearing multiple gowns by Ori Kelly and much of the action unfolding on the type of ship where men wore tuxedos to dinner. You would never know that all of it was filmed on a budget of just under $170,000 in only 25 days, a testament to the skill of director Michael Curtiz and his team, including cinematographer Barney McGill and art director Anton Grott. The film was a box office success, and our star of the month, George Brent, was a last-minute replacement for William Powell. Brent proved an excellent match for Kay Francis, and after The Keyhole, he was paired with Francis 5 more times. As author James Robert Parrish wrote in his book Hollywood's Great Love Teams, in their day, Francis and Brent were Warner Brothers' melodramatic equivalent of MGM's droll Myrna Loy and William Powell, and were regarded by the bulk of steady filmgoers as the height of refined upper-class romantics, personified sartorial elegance. Time for a quick break, but when I return, we'll see George Brent and Anne Dvorak in a 1934 drama, also starring Bette Davis as the old flame who comes between them.
Next on TCM, Housewife, then The Painted Veil, and later, The Right to Live. You're guaranteed more George Brent tonight.